Timotab, and today I'm going to solve half circles by Dorlir. Let's have a look at the rules. Normal sudoku rules apply, so we're going to place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every box. A digit n placed inside a circle or semicircle indicates that exactly n full circles in the grid contain the digit n. Two semicircles together count as one full circle. For example, if there are 4 semicircles containing the digit 5, let's try that, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 3 full circles containing 5. This is probably not going to completely work out. 2, 3. Okay, that seems to be, then the total count is 2 plus 3 equals 5 circles. So 1, 2, 3 circles, those two together make a circle, those two together make a circle. All right, I am going to restart the puzzle to reset the timer, and let's begin. Okay, I guess we should count the circles and semicircles. So I'm going to count semicircles only first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 22, 26, 27, 30, 31, 35, 39. That doesn't seem right. It should be an even number of semicircles. Let's try columns. 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 15, 21, 23, 24, 27, 29, 32, 34, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. That seems more likely. Yeah, let's go with that. So that's 40 semicircles, which is 20 full circles. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Okay, so we know from our standard counting circles that each circle that contains some digit consumes that many circles. So, therefore, even though we're using half circles for some of them, we need to have some set of digits that sum to 9 that are not in circles at all. And given that this box has 8 digits in it that are consuming at least half a circle, the only way I can do that is with a 9 being not in any circles at all. Because if I had 2 digits, then at least one of them would be 2 digits that are not in circles at all. Well, that doesn't work because I've got at least one of those digits in at least half a circle. So that has to be 9. Looks like that has to be 9. That'll make that a 9. That's now a 9. That makes this a 9. And this one, that 9 is looking up there, so that's a 9. That makes that 9, and I should be able to place the last one right here. Okay. So I have a 1. And I have 1, 1 in a complete circle. Well, I have to have a 1 in at least half a circle here, and I have to have a 1 in at least half a circle here. So first of all, I've got 1 in semicircles in these 2 boxes, and that means every other box needs to have a 1 not in a circle at all. So that must be a 1, 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 that's a 1, and that's a 1. Okay. So that means that I have a 1 here by sudoku, and then no, that's not right. I have a 1 in one of those two. And in this box, I have a 1 here. So that's a 1. There we go. That looks better. All right. 2s. I have half a 2 here at least, half a 2 here at least, half a 2 here at least, and half a 2 here at least, because they don't have any empty cells in them. So again, my 2s are in the semicircles in these 4 boxes. So every other box has to have an empty 2. So that's a 2, that's a 2. I have a 2 in one of those, 2 in one of those. This feels like I'm going to run out of empty cells for the non-circle digits, but maybe not. Okay. So, what does that do for me? In here, I have 2 in one of those, got a 2 in one of those, okay, I've got a 2 in one of those two by sudoku. Okay. Right, I have a 2 in one of these 3. I have a 2 in one of these 2, because there's a 2 looking down there, and it has to go in a semicircle anyway. And then a 2 in one of these 3. I don't see that there's an obvious way to resolve that just yet. Okay, so let's have a look at 3s. My 3s, I've got to find 3 full circles of 3s, and it looks like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes that I cannot avoid putting a 3 in at least a semicircle. Therefore, I have 3s in semicircles. Okay, so I have a 3 in one of those. That becomes a 2-3 pair. That becomes a 2-3 pair. That 2-3 is looking across here, making that empty. And that is now a 2-3 pair there. Okay. So, how does that help? 3s are in semicircles in these bottom 6 boxes. So there's a 3 in one of those, which means there is a 3 in one of those two. There's not a 3 there because of that 2-3 pair, so that becomes a 2-3 pair. And that makes this a 3. And so that's a 3. That means that one of those two is a 3. I've already got my 3 in this box, already got my 3 in this box. Okay, I've got a 3 in one of those 3, and that means that I've accounted for all of my 3's in columns 7 and 8. So that has to be a 2. That's now 3. That gives me a 2 there, a 3 there, a 2 there, and a 3 there. Okay, I now have 8 boxes that have no spaces in them. Therefore, the 4, of which I need 4 circles worth, has to go into each of those 8. The 4 in each of those boxes is going to consume at least half a circle. Given that there are 8 boxes, it must consume half a circle. So that means I get a 4 into one of those. This becomes a 2, 3, 4 triple. I have a 4 in one of those. I have a 4 in one of those. Plenty of options, but that's all the 4's that are in semicircles, so this has to be a 4. Okay, that 4's have to be in semicircles, so this has to be a 2, 3, 4. Now this has to be a 4, which removes that from being a 4. That's not a 4. That gives me a 2, 3, 4 triple in the row, which is interesting. I get another 2, 3, 4 triple in that row. So that's not a 4, and that is. So that's not 4. That's not 4. 4 is not in any of those by this 4. So 4 in this column needs to be one of those two, but not this one. So that's a 4. That eliminates that from being a 4 and makes that one a 4. So we have a 4 into one of those 3. Okay. So every other cell is at least half a circle. So for 8, in order to, given that 9 circles or 9 eighths need to add up to 8 circles, the only way to do that is with 7 full circles of 8 and 2 semicircles. And these are the only 2 boxes that only have semicircles in. So I've got going to have 2 8s in there, and every other box is going to have an 8 in a circle. So I get an 8 there. I'm going to get an 8 into one of those 2. I get an 8 in one of those 2, which means I have an 8 in one of those 2. That is an 8. Okay, that makes that the 8. That's not. That means that's not an 8, and that one is. No 8's in there, so that makes that 8. So that is not an 8. That one is an 8. That makes that an 8. So now I need to find where my 2 semicircle 8's go. I get 1 there and 1 here. Okay, 7's. So I now have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes that don't have full circles in. So that accounts for 2 of my 7's, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes that make up my other 5 sevens. So every box with a circle has a 7 in a circle. So that's a 7, that's a 7, that's a 7, that is 7, and that is 7. And then the remaining 4 boxes have 7s in semicircles. So I get one of those 2. These 2 7s mean that that's a 7, that's not, and that one is. That makes that a 7. These 2 7s are looking across, so that is a 7. And I think that's all my 7s. Okay. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 boxes with no free circles and all semicircles. That would account for 3 of the 6 circles that need to contain 6s, and therefore every box with a circle in now needs to contain a 6. So that must be a 6, that's a 6, and that is a 6. That means that this is a 6 for one of the half circles. That has to be a 6, which appears to make that a 3. I'll come back for 3s once I finish my 6s, I think, or do tidying up once I finish my 6s. One of those, that's not a 6, so that must be a 6, which makes that a 6. One of those 2 is a 6, but it's not the top one, so that's a 6. That makes that 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That looks good. So that 3 there, did that do anything for me? Not sure. Okay, so we're going to have 5s, and we're going to have 1 5 in a circle, which is there, and then 8 semicircled 5s, which counts for 4 more 5s. So that's the one that's available there, that's the one that's available there, there, and there, and there for 5s. That's a 5. I get a 5 there, which places 4 there. That makes that a 4. This is now a 2 5 pair here. That can't be the 5, so that's the 2. That's the 5. In this column now, that is a 2, which makes that 3. That's 4. We get a 2 over here. This 2 is looking across. That's a 3. That's a 2. That is a 3. And finally, 4. And that was a super fun puzzle. I think having some knowledge of how regular counting circles works certainly helped. And this was clearly an approachable puzzle intended to introduce half circles, which I believe are Dorlir's invention. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. And I am looking forward to more puzzles with this rule set. I think this has quite a bit of potential. Okay, well, if you enjoyed this solve, then please hit the like button. You can subscribe to see more, and I'd love to hear your comments. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.